Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Referrals Podcast. We are nearing the magical number 200 podcasts. 200 podcasts. Are you kidding me with that? I came kicking and screaming to the podcast, and here we are nearing 200 podcasts. We're going to have somebody on pretty special for 200, but I'm telling you, we have somebody on pretty special for today. Today, we have the one, the only, Miss Sheri Maher of Referrals Podcast fame. She is our guest, but before we get to her, you know what? Not before we get to her. Let's go right to her, and you have a shout out. Who is the shout out of today? First of all, I've got to do this the right way is oh my gosh. Welcome to Referrals Podcast, Sheri Maher.
Thank you for having me, Michael Maher.
Always a pleasure. And before you even get to the shout out, I'm just going to say from the entire Generosity Generation, a huge thank you for all you do to make the Referrals Podcast such a success. You are the key to this. You are the behind the scenes, the producer, the engineer, the editor, the uploader, the downloader, the marketer, everything, and all the hard work that you have put into this had made this podcast what it is today, and that is a huge success. So from the entire Gen Nation, thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Do you have a shout out?
I do. We just got this note the other day. Isn't this the cutest little card?
Oh, it has a little birdie on it. It says, just a little note to say, ...
This little birdie says, "Hi, Michael. Thank you so much for taking me on as a coaching client. Truly appreciate that. I especially like the way you tell quick, witty jokes that keep people waiting to hear what you'll say next." Blessings from Nicole Aldaz.
I'm not sure if that's a shout out or not. I'd like
to add, Nicole, you are just encouraging him.
Yeah.
So please stop.
She's one of our favorites. Nicole Aldaz out of Arizona. So she is a CRT and a coaching client and just an awesome, wonderful person. So I love that. And so what do you want to talk about? I just wanted to get on and say thank you because of everything you've done and all the great work you've done. You know, where are you at on things? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I just thought it would be great to continue the conversation we were just having about the halftime score. And I just thought it was a message that you could share with everyone because it's so relevant. I mean, time-wise, we essentially are at halftime in the year. And I just thought it would be let everyone kind of in our meeting, so to speak.
I think that's a great idea. And I'm actually thinking about putting this going live in the Facebook group right now too. What do you think of that? I think what you're talking about is so important and so pertinent that it should be heard by everybody. So I'm going to try to see if I can drop it in there. Maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't. So we are now live on Facebook in the Facebook group, Generosity Generation. It's Michael and Sheri Maher. We are actually recording the podcast right now. So you get a sneak peek in behind the scenes. But first of all, we started this with just a huge thank you to Sheri for all the hard work she's done on Referrals Podcast. And we are nearing episode number 200. And if you would have told me that 5 years ago, 2 years ago, I would have laughed and said, that'll never happen. But we are coming up on 200. We're top 100 trending in several countries, doing phenomenal in the United States. And a big reason for that is Sheri Maher and all the work she does behind the scenes to make that a success. We did a great shout out to Nicole Aldaz. You're going to have to listen to the podcast to hear that officially. We're not going to go back and rehash that. But Sheri just asked me a great question. And it was actually with regard to some things that I talked to every one of my coaching clients about today. First of all, I said, you got to get in Summerfest, right? That was the first thing I told all. You got to be in Summerfest. It's a 5 to 15 minute thing each day. It's small, it's easy, but it's so 7L and Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents like full that you're going to love it. It's going to help you move forward in a lot of areas. It gives you a taste of all the different strategies in a very quick, nice format. So you can sign up for that at summerfest21.com. That's SUMMERFEST21.com, summerfest21.com. I encourage you to check that out. And then also a quick thing about Referral Mastery Summit, RMS 21, Referral Mastery Summit. We have our outfits on right now. Literally, this is my outfit from RMS 19, and Sheri has her outfit on. Notice that we did the bright red for all of the support staff and the people who were helping us with the event, so they were easy to find. And then I wore the black, so, well, honestly, because it was slimming somewhat. So, and all of the CRTs and the speakers wore black as well because they earned it. And the only way to get a black shirt, as several people found out, was you have to earn it. You have to become a CRT to get a black shirt. And we had people literally offering us hundreds of dollars for a black t-shirt so that they could wear a black t-shirt. And we continued to say no, though I might change my mind on that in the future if the dollar price gets high enough. So I reserve the right to sell it for $1,000. I'm just saying. But here's the thing is Sheri, go ahead and repeat your question just so that everybody's on board with and catches up to where we're at right now.
Well, no, we were just talking about that it's halftime. It's halftime in 2021, and it's been an incredible year after an incredible year. Mm-hmm. But talking specifically about 21, just how we're at halftime and you know, what's the score at halftime?
Yeah, I love that because this comes straight from my younger days coaching all the way till today. I literally continue to use this today at halftime. We walk in the locker room or we go to wherever we go for halftime, and I say to the kids, I'm like, what's the least important score in sports? And they all say halftime. And I will tell you, I've been up huge at halftime and lost games. I've been down huge at halftime and ended up winning games. I've been tied at halftime and blew them out the second half. And I've been tied at halftime and got blown out in the second half. So I've seen it all, and nobody checks the halftime score when they look at scores. I mean, if you looked at the Atlanta Hawks Milwaukee Bucks game, did you look at the halftime score? Or did you, by the way, it was tied, or did you look at the final where the Bucks beat them by quite a bit, you know? So it's one of those where it's like, wherever you are during this year, it's just halftime, right? So you can't rest on your laurels. And by the way, that does remind me of early in my career. My first year in real estate, I did 37 transactions. My second year, I set the goal to do 100 transactions. And I will tell you, halfway through the year, I was already at 60, 70 transactions done. Well, I'm at 60, 70 transactions. I'm going to make it easy. And I also was very lack of knowledge, immature, that kind of thing. But so what happened in June and July, I kind of just shut it down. I kind of got lazy. And true story, I ended up with only 87 transactions in my second year, where I should have ended up probably 115 to 120. And because I got lazy. I was just like, I quit executing. Well, the next year, true story, In June, I was actually at about the same place. I was about 60, 70, 80 on the transactions. And I sat down, and for a couple of days, I worked on my plan for the second half of the year, which I should have done the year before. Now, every year, the first week of July, which is next week, but this end of the June, first week of July, I sat down and I go over, what are we doing the second half of the year? Well, I did it that year, and ladies and gentlemen, my third year of real estate, I did 187 transactions, pretty much all my own. I did have a transaction coordinator that I shared through the office, and I have to give Sheri, once again, a lot of credit. She helped a ton that year with a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff, but 187 transactions, basically me, and it was because of a great plan that I had in the second half of the year, which this whole idea of getting my thoughts together midway through the year has served me so well throughout my career. It's not even funny. All day today, during my coaching calls, and you'll notice I'm a little bit hoarse. It's because I've been having coaching calls all day, and we've been talking about what is your second half plan. If you're, first of all, if you're not in Summerfest, I'm telling you, this may sound like a sales pitch. Get in Summerfest. Sign up at summerfest21.com, because one of the things I'm going to help you do is this little thing right here. And I know that's hard to see. And we'll actually make it the download for today's podcast episode. This is the next 26 weeks of the year and how you're going to communicate with your database that week. So also on this sheet, which is a very handy sheet, I have the special days and dates. So like July 10th is Pina Colada Day. I don't know how you can use that, but use it as you might. And then here's a big one though. The 18th of July is National Ice Cream Day. That would be a great day to have a small event or a big event where you wheel out the ice cream truck, or you go to a local ice cream shop and you tell everybody you're there and you buy ice cream. Hot Fudge Sunday is July 25th, which literally is Hot Fudge Sunday Day. And then you've got back to school stuff coming up. There's all kinds of, October 23rd is Make a Difference Day. There's Sandwich Day, Donut Day, Veterans Day, and so on and so forth. But they're all on here. So to the right, I can write down in here, oh, you know what? This would be a good day for an event. Or this, oh, you know who that reminds me of? S'mores Day. That reminds me of Nicole Aldaz. I need to reach out to, because she did an awesome virtual S'mores Day event last year. How cool is that? So if you want this download, go to referralspodcast.com. But the thing that I want you to know, if you're signed up for Summerfest or not, is we're gonna help you fill this form out so that you have a plan for the last 26 weeks of this year. It's halftime. You've got 26 weeks. The key to success, how do we win the second half, is we have to execute. Go for perfection with how you run your time block. Go for perfection with how you run the event system. Go for perfection with how you run your rituals. Go for perfection. Like, go better. Do better with whatever it may be. Pick a ritual, pick a system, pick an event, pick a plan, pick a communication, and you know what? Improve on it. Do it better. And that's what we were talking about today. All of our coaching clients are filling out this form. They're putting in how they're going to communicate with their database. One week it'll be phone calls. Another week will be handwritten notes. Another week will be text messages, video message through email, an event, that kind of thing. And guess what? You finish that by the end of next week, and you have power. There is so much power in, like, okay, I need to do calls this week. Don't worry about handwritten notes. Don't worry about text messages. Don't worry about emails. Just focus on phone calls. The next week it says handwritten notes, just 5 a day, 5 handwritten notes a day. By the end of the week, you've invited maybe 25, 30 people to your event through a handwritten note. Trust me, they're going to attend if you invite them through a handwritten note. I'm just such a huge believer that we can just wane off and just slough off if we don't have a plan, if we don't know what we're doing each and every week. Great time to revisit. That's why all these sports have halftime, where you go to the locker room and you reorganize based on what the world has thrown you, based on what the opponent has thrown you. You have the ability to change your plans and execute even better in the second half. And that's the opportunity we have in front of us today, this week. So I think that's, Sheri, I think you teed me up perfectly on that. And I am such a huge, as you know, I'm such a huge believer in this halftime adjustment. What do we got to do? And we've made adjustments, which I love. I just love where we're going with Referco. And I just, I think you hit it on the head.
Awesome.
So anyway, we wanted to share this on Facebook because we just felt it was so timely and we felt it was so appropriate. Yeah, some of you are going to download the podcast tomorrow and you're going to go, you know what? I just heard that. And it's okay. Sometimes we have to hear things one or two times, but, and also I hope you get into Summerfest just because like we're going to break this down for you and break it down even more, help you fill it out, figure it out, and that kind of thing. The very first week, literally, Summerfest starts on Monday the 5th, and on the 6th, 7th, on Wednesday, you'll see this chart again. So I'm excited for you. I'm excited for Jen.
You know, the other thing too, I love that. I love asking the question, how can I win by the end of the year? And I think that it does a couple things. One, I think it does is it makes it, if you're not where you want to be as far as your business goals or even personal goals, and it kind of takes the like, okay, how are we going to win? It removes it from such a personal thing for you to be able to step outside and kind of look at it objectively, like, okay, I should have been doing this and some other things got in the way, or the market's been insane, so I haven't been staying in touch with my past clients. And if I refocus and do this, it kind of just helps you step out and you know, take a different look at it. And the second thing that I love about Summerfest is when you are maybe in business by yourself. So like you don't really, maybe you have a part-time assistant, maybe you don't even have that. If it's just you, it's hard to say, okay, how are we going to win? And not think like, oh, I'm the one that's going to have to do that. And I'm the one that's going to have to do that. And I have to do that. And I have to do that. But to kind of find that source of inspiration and daily motivation, Summerfest is awesome because there's a couple hundred people in there going through these little challenges just like you. And you're like inspired to say, yeah, you know what? I can write 5 handwritten notes today to my last 5 clients. And knowing that you've got other people doing it with you. So all of a sudden you do feel like you have this team behind you and you're all working together. So
plus you can win some great prizes, right? And, you know, back to Sheri really spurred a thought is that, you know, when I'm in at halftime, we are making halftime adjustments. And one of the things that I always ask is, by the way, I've got someone who writes down every play we run in the first half. And then at halftime, I go, all right, what are our top 3 plays? What are our top 5 plays? And what are our top 10 plays? And then I say, what were our worst 3 plays? And so why do I want the top 10 plays that work and the 3 plays that don't work? Well, here's what I'm going to do, right? Is I'm going to run the first 10 plays we run the second half are going to be the 10 plays that worked. There's my secret, by the way. If you play against me in any sport, there's my secret. I'm going to run a play that worked against you in the first half, against you in the second half, to see if you can still stop it or if you've made adjustments. And I'm telling you right now, most coaches can only make 1 or 2 adjustments. They can't make 10. So guess what? 1 of those 10 plays or maybe 5 of those 10 plays are going to work. The other thing I'm going to look at are the 3 plays that didn't work, and why did they not work? Well, that's the same in your business. What is working? If circle prospecting is working, do it. If for sale by owners is working, do it. If You're holding open houses and it's working, do it. Here's the other thing. What do we need? What is a play we might need to revisit? Maybe you've gotten out of touch with your database. Yeah, I've heard that one a lot. So guess what? Execute the play of getting back in touch with your database. And you know what? And here's the thing that we know about communicating with your database. We know that play works against any opponent. We know that play works no matter what the market is. We know that play works, so let's execute it and let's become better at it, and let's make it a lot of fun and do it every day. So I think that was such a great thing that Sheri brought up is make those halftime adjustments based on what worked for you and what didn't work for you. Do more of the things that worked, do less of the things that didn't work, and double down on your database. There we go. I love it.
Boom.
Good stuff. So I think that's it for now, but I really wanted to just share that on Facebook. We're gonna drop off Facebook right now and just finish out the podcast. But I really, really wanted to share this with you because it's so timely. It's such a huge strategy, and you're gonna feel better in a few days having filled out this form. I know I feel great having filled that out. So anyway, there's our coaching for the day. I appreciate all of you. We love all of you. We love Jen. We love what you're doing for the world. Building your business on love, generosity, and appreciation, and it's working. And couldn't be more proud of everything you guys are accomplishing. So it's awesome stuff. So we've dropped out of the live stream there. Referrals podcast crew, thank you so much for bearing with us as we transitioned into that. I have to be quite honest with you. That was probably as smooth as it ever could be. But I do appreciate it. And, I don't know how much Sheri's going to edit when she gets back to it, but sometimes the real, the raw, the unfiltered is kind of cool to hear, because you get a sneak peek to behind the scenes. And, I just wanted to just give that information out to you. Take 26 weeks, figure out what you're going to do each week. You're not going to do much. The last week of the year, it's New Year's. You're not going to do much the second to last week, it's Christmas. You're not going to do much that third week or the fourth week of November, it's Thanksgiving. But the rest of these days are so great for triggers to contact your database. Put an event or two in there, and all of a sudden, all your communications supercharged communication. So that's our podcast for today. I just wanted to thank Sheri for coming on, teeing me up for this. And it was her idea to do this. I love the thought. I love the spontaneity of it. Of course, the spontaneity of it drove me a little nuts too, and probably some of you, but that's okay. But I just wanted to say thank you. And I know we're pushing all the podcasts that we had in queue back on the back burner for a week or two. But this is so timely. This is so right now that we need to do it. And Summerfest starts on Monday. So if you want to get in now. Go to summerfest21.com. It's the best fun you can have that is legal. And I just can't wait for you to get red hot referrals each and every day in July and have a lot of fun doing it. So, Sheri, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, check out summerfest21.com, check out rms21.com, check out everything that is going on right now. We're on fire. You're on fire. It's red hot referral time. It is the midsummer. It is the way to happen. I'm telling you, here's the thing, is some of you might be so on fire, you feel a little burnt out. That I hate to keep going back to it, but that's where Summerfest kicks butt too, right? Is it small? It'll be that little bit of a spark that'll rejuvenate you. And I need to back off. I feel like this whole thing, I don't want you to think that this thing was an ad for Summerfest. We're just so passionate about affordable training that anybody can do and yet delivers like 10 to 100 times the value. What's the value of one referral? One referral. If you got one referral in July because of something you did with Summerfest, would it be worth it? Well, I have to tell you, the answer has to be yes, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Referrals Podcast. I hope to see you in the Generosity Generation. Join gengen.com if you have not checked into that. And I just want you to know that this download will be available of the second half of the year, where you can put your activity in the schedule. That will be available at referralspodcast.com. Go to referralspodcast.com if you haven't already. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. We'll see you on the next episode of Referrals Podcast.